the Bills weren't afraid to rip the Band-Aid off. 10 games in, they're 500, sleepwalking through games offensively. Josh Allen is regressing, even though he can give you points, he can give you scores, but he's also going to give you some turnovers. So go ahead and bake those into Josh Allen's game. But was this the right move, considering the offensive stats, but also sleepwalking in games time after time? Those were some games that they were sleepwalking. They slept walk against the Broncos, slept walk against the Bengals. They were doing it against the Giants, which was crazy. That was freaking 5 games ago. I mean, to the Patriots, they lose to them. Very close again to the Bucks. They just have no sense of consistency when it comes to actually playing in these games, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Josh Allen is now on his third offensive coordinator, with Joe Brady being the interim in his first 6 years. We know Brian Daboll from his rookie year all the way to 2021 came in, supplemented very well there, getting Josh Allen to his peak, getting him out of that rookie slump that he looked so horrible in. Then he escapes, goes on to be the head coach of the New York Giants, and they should have never let Brian Daboll go. But I get it. This is an offensive-minded league. A lot of offensive coordinators are getting head coaching jobs. Brian Daboll goes on to win Coach of the Year. And I mean, we look at Kevin O'Connell, OC, getting hired as a head coach. We see Kevin Stefanski, OC, getting hired as head coach. Brian Daboll, same instance. We're waiting on it with Bieniemy. Ben Johnson's probably going to have a head coaching job. This is the league of offensive-minded coaches at the head coaching position. And that's why Brian Daboll did so well with Josh Allen. But now, again, Josh Allen, third offensive coordinator with Joe Brady in his first 6 years. And if they go and hire another one next year, he will be on his fourth offensive coordinator in 7 years. Under Ken Dorsey this year, would you happen to know that the Bills were third in EPA per play offensively, first in success rate? If you don't know what success rate is, it is a simple measurement of literally how successful an NFL offense is when they call a certain play compared to a certain defense. Were you successful? Did you win that play? No offense in the NFL was better than the Buffalo Bills at that, statistically. They were seventh in scoring drive rate as well. Scoring drive rate of how many drives you get the football, how many of those drives do you score a touchdown or a field goal on, or accumulate points, more than likely a touchdown or a field goal. The Bills were seventh best in that department. And he was fired little after midway through the year, 10 games in. And I said this on episode 52, and I'll bring it right back around. Sean McDermott fired Leslie Frazier. Sean McDermott had public disagreements in the media with Brian Daboll. Sean McDermott hired and fired Rick Dennison and Ken Dorsey. So maybe it's not them. And shout out Jern from Stuff About Sports, one of my favorite shows out there. Him and what's his co-host name? Bert. Jerm is a big, major Bills fan up there on the north side. He loves his Buffalo Bills, but he damn sure hates Sean McDermott. He's ready for Sean McDermott to go, and I don't blame him. Because when you've got a caliber of team like the Buffalo Bills defensively, with all of the names that they have there, offensively, with some weapons, they definitely could use more. I've been calling for that. With the just cannonball quarterback in Josh Allen, I mean, and this is what Sean McDermott's able to do. I mean, it's just you see the way it makes me react on camera because it's tough. I've been a victim to it. Saints for 4 straight years, one of the best teams in the league. Most wins without a Super Bowl appearance in a 4-year stretch. I'm not saying the Bills are going to do that, but the Bills have been in these Super Bowl talks for seasons now. I picked them 2 straight years ago to the Super Bowl, last year and the year before, and it didn't happen. We look at teams like the Chargers who get loaded year after year after year. Great quarterback, great defense, very solid offensive weapons, a ton of veterans too. Not even an old roster, just veterans that have played in the league for 5, 6, 7 years, and you can't get it done. Brandon Staley, defensive-minded head coach. The Bills had no problem firing their offensive coordinator, who had them clicking statistically as one of the best offenses in the league. Now I understand. You go look on paper: 24 points, 22 points, 24 points, 25 points, 14 points, 20, 46, 37, 38, and 22. But 37, 38, and 48 was the Raiders, the Commanders, and the Dolphins. That's after giving up or, only putting up 16 in the opener where they got the punt returned on them for the touchdown, 22-16, losing to the New York Jets. So, you look on paper and you see some of these big games. It's like outside of those big games where they blew those teams out, the Bills haven't put up over 30 points in 6 games. The Bills have not put up over 25 points. Excuse me, over 25 points in that stretch. Since they dropped 48 on the Dolphins' head in week 4, after the Dolphins dropped a 70 burger on the Broncos, the Bills can't even score 4 touchdowns a game. And I'm not trying to sit here and drag the Bills, but when you want to think of how they looked internally versus just these stats here, that's probably what they see. That's great that you can blow out the Raiders and the Commanders and the Dolphins. Nobody's really expecting those teams to do a whole lot. And yes, I included the Dolphins in that because they still can't beat good football teams. And they're going to have to go through that gauntlet on the AFC. And even if they get to the Super Bowl, it's going to be the Eagles. It's going to be the Niners. It's going to be the Lions. They're sure as hell not beating any of those teams. So, I mean, it's tough. It's tough because you see it season in and season out. You want the Bills to be better. And Sean McDermott, as a defensive-minded head coach, he's got to go. He's got to go. He's got way too much talent on this team. Way too much. And, you got to look for somewhere to place the blame. You got to, I guess, have somebody lose their job. There's got to be some sort of result or some effect, right? Maybe it was a major embarrassment for them to lose to the Denver Broncos. Who knows? 12 men on the field, but no, we're gonna fire our OC. That's what we're gonna do. We're only gonna lose by 2 in this football game, but we're gonna fire our OC. Yeah, we lost at home in this game, but still gonna fire the OC. So, is this what they want for Josh Allen? Do they want to continue to have offensive coordinator after offensive coordinator? Basically, every 2 years, Josh Allen's getting a new offensive scheme that he's got to fit into. You notice in that stretch from 2018 to 2021, Josh Allen did nothing but get better every year. And then Brian Daboll leaves and he declines. Now, I'm not going to say he's, becoming washed or regressing majorly, but is he playing at the level that he was playing at? Absolutely not. He was not doing that at all. And I would like to believe with the amount of money that Josh Allen is making, that the Bills and the fans don't want this for their quarterback. Because we've seen quarterbacks over the years in the league, different head coaches. I mean, hell, Baker Mayfield, different head coaches, different offensive coordinators, different offensive game plans and schemes. It already takes a lot of time to learn a scheme and a playbook as is. And then you're going to go and switch that up on them. That's not a recipe for success for Josh Allen. And this is where I have empathy for Josh Allen in this aspect. Brian Daboll was clearly the best, and they shouldn't have let him get away.